Every word ever spoken was first a spark in the silence, longing to become light. You begin in the quiet before speech, a stillness so complete it feels alive. The world has not yet taken form. Emotion has not yet gathered into meaning. Breath has not yet shaped itself into sound. You stand inside the chamber of origin, the heart before the heartbeat, the flame before the fire, the word before it becomes a world. In that stillness, something flickers. It is small, almost shy, but unmistakable. A spark rising from the depths of your being. Not thought, not emotion, not intention. A simple, primal need to express. A warmth gathering itself into movement. You feel this spark climb toward the center of your chest. It glows behind your ribs like the earliest ember of creation, trembling with possibility. It wants to rise. It wants to speak. It wants to reveal what silence alone cannot hold. The ancient voice of trimorphic protenoia echoes from the deepest layer of your awareness. I am the voice of the soundless, the word that appears in flame. You feel these words strike like flint inside the spark, igniting something inner, something ancient. The flame is not outside you. The voice is not separate from you. Expression is not an accident. It is the divine instinct to reveal itself. The heart feels this instinct first. A pressure, a warmth, a rising current that wants to become sound. This is the tongue of fire, the moment when silence gathers the courage to speak, when stillness becomes motion, when the divine spark searches for a shape in the world. You feel it swelling through your chest, climbing your throat, illuminating paths within you that have long been waiting for expression. Fire does not only burn, fire speaks. Flame is the language of revelation. You sense that the universe itself began this way, not with an explosion, but with a yearning. A luminous tension inside the heart of the one, rising until it could no longer remain unspoken. Creation was the first word. Existence was the first flame. Now that flame rises in you, the spark brightens, the silence thins, emotion gathers. The heart prepares to speak. You rest inside the quiet that comes before expression, and you notice something subtle. Silence is not empty. Silence is charged. It holds a tension, a waiting, a fullness not yet shaped. Before any word is born, the heart stirs. Before any voice emerges, emotion begins to vibrate. All creation starts here, in the spark that rises before speech. You feel that spark now, a tremor beneath the sternum, a warmth pressing outward, but not yet formed enough to move. It is the moment when feeling first awakens, when something meaningful gathers inside you without language to hold it. This spark is older than thought, older than language, older than the self you believe yourself to be. It is the original movement, the same impulse that stirred the cosmos into existence, the same longing that shaped galaxies, the same resonance that first separated light from shadow. Emotion is not a human accident. It is divine momentum in its first, purest state. The tension grows gently, not painful, not frantic, but insistent. You feel it expanding like a star in slow motion. The universe once held such a moment, a breathless pause before the first flare of creation, a silence dense with all possible futures. Your heart reenacts that moment every time emotion gathers before expression. You become a microcosm of the cosmic beginning. You stand in this inner stillness and feel the spark building. It seeks direction. It seeks shape. It seeks release. The silence begins to thin around it. It is no longer spacious, but expectant. No longer inert, but trembling. You can sense that speech, movement, or some form of expression is inevitable. Emotion is the pressure that precedes revelation. The universe once trembled with this same pressure, a fullness so complete it could not remain unspoken. You feel yourself mirrored in that ancient moment. What stirs in your heart is the same force that stirred creation, the desire of truth to become visible. The spark brightens. You feel it reach upward, toward breath, toward voice, toward the world. Feeling is preparing to reveal itself. The silence before the word begins to glow with fire, and the heart prepares for its awakening. The spark inside you brightens until it becomes unmistakable. What was once a tremor now rises like a column of warmth through your chest. Emotion crystallizes into something sharper, clearer, more alive. This is passion, not the chaos you were taught to fear, but the original fire of creation moving through the human heart. You feel it expand, filling the space behind your ribs with heat. It does not burn to destroy. It burns to reveal. Passion is the flame that makes truth visible. The Gospel of Philip captures its essence in a single line. Fire is light. Light cannot be hidden. Passion is that light, insisting on expression. It is the universe refusing to remain silent. When the heart ignites, you are experiencing the same force that forged stars, the same intensity that shaped worlds, the same luminous insistence that awakened consciousness. You begin to understand passion not as a personal feeling, but as divine energy passing through form. Its purpose is revelation. Its nature is clarity. Its movement is expansion. When passion rises, something in you wakes from sleep. Your senses sharpen. Your awareness widens. Your body becomes a vessel for energy older than matter itself. You feel this energy swirl through you, searching for direction. It is neither positive nor negative. It is pure motion, the raw electricity of being alive. Passion does not choose what it illuminates. It lights whatever it touches. It reveals joy with the same intensity it reveals fear. It makes every hidden truth impossible to ignore. This is why passion can feel overwhelming. It pushes forward, it insists, it demands honesty, it refuses to let your heart remain small. The fire that feels does not ask permission. It rises because it belongs to the nature of consciousness to express itself. Emotion is not weakness. Emotion is ignition. The heart becomes a furnace of meaning. Each beat pumps more light into your awareness. Each breath intensifies the flame. You feel yourself becoming luminous from within, illuminated by forces you once thought were only personal. This is divine fire, wearing the mask of human feeling. You begin to see that passion is not the enemy of silence. It is the voice emerging from silence. It is the bridge between what is known internally and what must be revealed externally. The spark becomes fire. The fire becomes meaning. Your heart burns, not to consume you, but to prepare you for expression, the moment when flame becomes word. The fire in your heart rises until it can no longer remain contained. It climbs your breath. It warms your throat. It gathers behind your tongue like a truth pressing against the world, asking to be born. This is the moment when passion seeks form, when inner flame turns outward and becomes expression. Expression is not merely speech. It is creation. It is the divine instinct to reveal itself. You feel the shift the moment it happens. Emotion meets breath. Breath meets voice. Voice meets the world. In that meeting, something ancient awakens. The gospel of truth describes this movement with luminous clarity. The word came forth from fullness and revealed the hidden treasure. You feel yourself reenacting that cosmic moment. Your fullness becomes sound. Your hidden treasure becomes visible. The fire that surged inside you becomes a flame others can see. This is the alchemy of expression. Thought becomes vibration. Vibration becomes sound. Sound becomes meaning. Meaning becomes reality. Creation continues through every word that rises from your heart. You begin to understand that your voice is not separate from the universe's voice. When you speak with awareness, your words echo the motion of creation itself. When you create art, you continue the original act of revelation. When you choose honesty, you refine the fire that shaped stars. Expression is the soul remembering how to expand, and the heart is its forge. The fire that once felt overwhelming now becomes coherent. It shapes itself into tone, into rhythm, into language. Every phrase carries a signature of energy, your energy shaped by truth. You speak, and the world listens differently, not because your voice is loud, but because it is real, because it carries the heat of an inner flame that has stopped hiding. Creation is not distant. Creation happens each time. The fire inside you becomes a word, a gesture, a song, a decision, a movement toward authenticity. You feel this power settle into your awareness. Expression is not performance. It is revelation. It is the heart letting the world see the light it holds. The word made flame illuminates not only your path, but the paths of those who hear it. Truth is contagious, light spreads. But expression brings another challenge, vulnerability. To speak is to be seen. To reveal is to risk. The heart must pass through purification before it can speak without fear. The moment your inner fire becomes expression, something deep within you is tested. A trembling appears, not in the flame, but around it. It is the familiar tightening that comes whenever the heart risks being seen. Vulnerability rises like heat from the coals, and for an instant, you feel the instinct to withdraw, to dim, to retreat into silence. This is the burn of purification. Not the destruction of the flame, but the clearing of what obstructs it. Fear gathers like smoke around your truth. and the fire responds in the only way fire knows, by burning through it. You feel the heat rise in your chest, sharper now, more precise. It touches every place inside you where you once hid, every word you swallowed, every truth you softened, every feeling you disguised to stay safe. The flame exposes these fragments gently but relentlessly. This is the cost of authentic expression, to let the fire show you what stands between you and your voice. The Gospel of Thomas speaks to this moment without hesitation. If you bring forth what is within you will save you. You feel the truth of it cut cleanly through the smoke. What saves you is not the flame alone, but the willingness to let it burn away what is false. Fear is not your enemy here. Fear is the material of transformation. Each time you face it, the fire strengthens. Each time you avoid it, the smoke thickens. You begin to see how fear and expression are intertwined. Fear is the boundary of your old self. Expression is the expansion into your new self. Purification is the bridge. The burn feels intense but not cruel. It is the intensity of growth, the heat of honesty, the friction of becoming transparent. You are not being harmed, you are being refined. As the flame rises, something inside you shifts. The fear does not vanish, but it loosens. The smoke lifts. The heart begins to open wider than the threat. Your voice steadying itself against the trembling becomes its own form of courage. You feel clarity sharpen. You feel pressure dissolve. The fire becomes less wild and more clean. It burns only what you no longer need. Pretense, self-doubt, inherited silence. A deeper truth emerges beneath the purification. Your heart is not fragile, it is forged. Expression does not weaken you. It reveals your strength. Every fear you pass through becomes fuel. Every truth you speak becomes flame. The burn subsides. A new space opens within you. Spacious, glowing, unguarded. And from this openness comes something luminous. Clarity refined into radiance. The burn settles into something steadier. The sharpness fades. The smoke clears. What remains is a warmth that feels less like heat and more like presence. A radiance rising from within you, calm and unwavering. This is the moment when the heart stops fighting the fire and begins becoming it. You feel your chest expand, not physically but energetically. The boundaries that once held your voice tight begin to dissolve. What was once a spark has matured into a living flame, coherent, centered, aware. This flame does not flicker with emotion alone. It carries clarity. It carries discernment. It carries the quiet authority of something that knows itself. The heart becomes luminous. This is not metaphor. It is a shift in your inner reality. You feel a light behind every breath. You feel a brightening behind every intention. You feel awareness warming everything it touches, your thoughts, your relationships, your choices. The Gospel of Truth describes this state with a single crystalline insight. The heart became perfect, for it was filled with the light. Not flawless, not emotionless. Perfect in the sense of whole, unified, integrated. A vessel through which illumination moves without distortion. You sense yourself entering that perfection, not as accomplishment, but as alignment. The flame in your heart begins to illuminate your inner landscape. Old fears appear as shadows at the edge of its glow, not to frighten you, but to show you how small they truly are. Old stories soften, revealing the truth beneath them. Old wounds warm, beginning to release their tension. Light changes everything it touches, and now it is touching you from the inside out. You understand something profound. Illumination is not escape from darkness. It is coexistence with it, from a place of clarity. Your heart becomes a lantern, not blazing, not blinding, but steady. It lights your next step. It lights your inner truth. It lights the parts of you that once lived in silence. And something else happens. The flame begins to reach outward, not through effort, but through being. Others feel it without knowing why. Spaces shift around you because the light you carry changes the way you enter them. The heart that has become flame naturally becomes a guide. But illumination alone is not the end of the arc. Where light radiates, something deeper begins to rise. A voice formed not from thought but from fire. A voice that speaks truth without trembling. A voice that reveals rather than reacts. A voice born from the heart's awakening. The light in your chest reaches a threshold, and something remarkable begins to happen. The flame that once merely illuminated now starts to speak. Not with sound at first, but with intention. A clarity rising through your awareness that gathers itself into meaning. You feel it forming the way fire forms a column of heat, upward, inevitable, alive. This is the voice of flame. It does not sound like thought. It does not sound like emotion. It sounds like truth moving through you. Your breath deepens as the flame rises behind your sternum. You feel the warmth lift into your throat, not as pressure, but as purpose. The body prepares itself. The heart prepares itself. Expression becomes unavoidable. The Gospel of Thomas gives the secret to this moment. When you make the inner like the outer, and the outer like the inner, then you will speak from the fullness. You feel that fullness now, the alignment between what you feel and what you express, between your inner fire and your outer voice. The flame inside you becomes the flame through you. When the voice of flame speaks, it carries several qualities at once. It is clear. There is no confusion in it. It is warm. It does not harm. Even when it is fierce, it is direct. It does not wander or apologize for existing. It is alive, vibrating with the same energy that stirs galaxies into motion. This voice does not shout to be heard. It resonates to be understood. You feel how effortlessly it moves through you. Words rise without strain. Insight forms without searching. Truth emerges without fear. This is because the flame has burned away the smoke, the hesitation, the self-betrayal, the instinct to hide. There is nothing left for truth to push through. It flows freely. You begin to notice something unexpected. The voice of flame is not loud. It is clean. Its power comes from coherence, not volume. People listen differently when flame speaks. Not because you overpower them, but because you reveal something that was already true within them. A hidden recognition awakens. A quiet remembering rises. Your flame touches theirs. This is why the voice of flame is transformative. It does not impose change. It ignites it. You feel this now, the sense that your words carry heat, not to burn others, but to warm the places inside them that have gone cold. Your expression becomes a mirror in which others find their own truth rising toward clarity. The heart becomes a hearth. The voice becomes the fire that gathers people around it. The truth becomes the warmth that keeps them there. You begin to understand the purpose of all the inner work, all the burning, all the illumination, not to shine alone, but to speak in a way that lights others from within. The flame stabilizes, the voice steadies, and a final transformation begins. The descent of fire into compassion, where truth becomes tenderness without losing its heat. A flame that reveals without wounding is the mark of a heart that has remembered its origin. You stand in the quiet aftermath of the fire's ascent, the spark that rose in silence, the flame that purified your voice, the light that filled your chest. All of it now settles into something deeper, steadier, and infinitely more tender. Your heart burns, but not to destroy. It burns to illuminate. It burns to warm. It burns to reveal. And yet nothing in you feels scorched. Nothing feels lost. The heat no longer overwhelms. It steadies. This is the final alchemy, a heart that burns and does not consume. You feel the flame resting inside you like a living presence, not raging, not demanding, simply being. It glows the way a candle glows in a dark room, soft enough not to blind, bright enough to guide. You sense that something fundamental has changed. Your heart no longer fears its own intensity. Your voice no longer trembles beneath the weight of truth. Your presence no longer dims to make space for others. And because you no longer hide your flame no longer harms. This is the paradox. A heart becomes safe the moment it stops suppressing its fire. The Pistis Sophia hints at this mystery. The light that remains is mercy. You feel that mercy now. A compassion warmed by truth, a tenderness shaped by courage, a gentleness that does not deny its own strength. Your flame does not flicker. It does not boast. It does not burn uncontrollably. It simply reveals what is real in you and in others. People are not warmed by your strength alone. They are warmed by your clarity, by your transparency, by the way your flame burns cleanly, without smoke, without disguise. You breathe, and the flame breathes with you. You speak, and the flame speaks through you. You move through the world with a heart that no longer hides its origin. The fire has become your nature, the word has become your light, the truth has become your warmth. And through this warmth, something new now calls. A deeper descent into the mystery of breath, where fire becomes wind and voice becomes spirit. The next episode reveals the continuation of the arc, the mirror of stars, the cosmic mind, and the dream of form. May your heart burn gently, and may its flame never go out.